Welcome to Explainified. Today we are going to talk about something really relatable. Our thoughts at night, yup, they are usually a lot sadder and depressing than those we have at daytime. But why? Let's talk about it. Night thoughts feel different, heavier, louder, more convincing. A worry that seemed manageable during the day suddenly feels unsolvable at night. A small regret becomes overwhelming. A hypothetical future turns into something terrifyingly real. And when you try to push the thoughts away, they only grow stronger. This shift is not imagined. There are real psychological and biological reasons why thoughts feel worse at night. Tonight, we're going to explain exactly why this happens, what your brain is doing when the lights go out, and how understanding this can change the way you experience those quiet hours. Let's start with something important. During the day, your brain is distracted. Even if you feel stressed or anxious, your attention is constantly pulled outward. Conversations, movement, notifications, sounds, and responsibilities act like noise that keeps deeper thoughts from rising fully to the surface. At night, that noise disappears. The mind turns inward, and when it does, it becomes more honest. The human brain has two broad modes of operation. One is task-focused. This mode helps you function, solve problems, and respond to the environment. The other is self-reflective. This mode activates when there is nothing demanding your immediate attention. At night, especially before sleep, the task-focused mode shuts down. The self-reflective mode takes over. This mode is responsible for memory review, emotional processing, and future simulation. When it activates without distraction, thoughts feel more intense. Another key factor is fatigue. When you are tired, your brain loses its ability to regulate emotion. This regulation is handled by the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for logic, perspective, and emotional control. Fatigue weakens this area. As a result, emotional centers of the brain gain more influence. Thoughts feel less filtered, more absolute, less negotiable. What you tell yourself at night feels more true simply because the brain parts that normally challenge those thoughts are quieter. Stress hormone activity also shifts at night. Cortisol follows a daily rhythm. While it is lowest in the early night, it begins to rise toward early morning. For people under chronic stress, this rise happens earlier and more sharply. The brain becomes more alert while the body is still tired. This mismatch creates anxiety-like sensations. Thoughts become urgent without having anywhere to go. The environment matters too. Darkness reduces sensory input. With fewer external signals, the brain amplifies internal ones. This is why silence can feel uncomfortable. The mind fills the quiet with thoughts that were waiting all day. It's not that you think more at night, it's that you notice more. Memory recall is also different at night. The brain becomes more associative rather than analytical. This means one thought easily triggers another related memory. A single worry can rapidly cascade into many others. During the day, focus prevents this chain reaction. At night, nothing stops it. There is also an evolutionary explanation. Early humans were most vulnerable at night. Safety depended on awareness. The brain evolved to quietly monitor potential threats during darkness. In the modern world, this translates into mental threat scanning. At night, the brain looks for unresolved dangers. Emotional problems, unfinished decisions, and uncertainty appear because the brain treats them as threats that need solving. Another factor is time perception. At night, time feels slower and more elastic. There are no clocks demanding action. No deadlines approaching immediately. This gives thoughts more space to expand. A worry can grow simply because nothing interrupts it. People often ask why thoughts feel more negative at night. One reason is negativity bias. The brain evolved to prioritize potential threats over neutral or positive information. When the environment is quiet, the brain defaults to scanning risks rather than pleasures. This does not mean you are pessimistic. It means your brain is protective. There is also a strong relationship between night thoughts and identity. During the day, you perform roles: employee, friend, partner, parent. At night, those roles drop away. What remains is the core self. Questions about meaning, direction, regret, and purpose naturally surface when role-based distractions disappear. This is why night thoughts often revolve around life decisions, relationships, missed opportunities, fear of the future. These are not random thoughts. They reflect areas where emotional closure has not yet occurred. Sleep deprivation worsens all of this. Even small reductions in sleep increase emotional reactivity. The brain becomes more sensitive to threat and less capable of reassurance. If night thoughts regularly feel overwhelming, sleep quality during previous nights may already be compromised. This creates a loop. Poor sleep leads to stronger night thoughts. Stronger night thoughts lead to poorer sleep. Technology reinforces the cycle. Screens stimulate alertness. Social media exposes the brain to comparison, judgment, and conflict. This content lingers into the quiet hours. The brain processes it when everything else is silent. This is why scrolling before bed often leads to racing thoughts, even if the content seemed harmless. Another underappreciated factor is emotional postponement. During the day, many people delay feeling. They suppress sadness, anger, fear, or doubt to function. At night, the brain processes what was postponed. This can feel overwhelming because it arrives all at once. There is also something called anticipatory simulation. At night, the brain mentally rehearses future events. Conversations, conflicts, outcomes. This rehearsal is meant to prepare you, but without grounding, it turns into rumination. The brain mistakes imagination for reality. Emotional reactions follow. So what should you do when night thoughts feel worse? First, understand that they are exaggerations, not revelations. The emotional truth of a problem may be real, but its intensity is inflated by context. What feels catastrophic at night often feels manageable in the morning. Second, avoid trying to solve life problems in bed. The brain is not in a problem-solving state at night. It is in a processing state. Trying to force solutions increases arousal. Third, externalize the thoughts. Writing them down removes their emotional charge. Once written, the brain no longer needs to hold them in working memory. This alone can significantly reduce intensity. Fourth, regulate the nervous system rather than the thoughts. Slow breathing, gentle movement, or grounding techniques calm the body. When the body calms, the mind follows. It is also important to reframe night thoughts. They are not commands, they are reflections. They show what needs attention, not what should be feared. Some people fear their night thoughts because they feel intrusive or dark. But the presence of these thoughts does not define you. It means your brain is doing maintenance, it is cleaning, sorting, and evaluating. There is also a quieter truth. Night thoughts often fade when life becomes more aligned, when choices are made, when boundaries are set, when unresolved issues are addressed. Night is when the brain points toward what matters. This is why many people report that night thoughts improve after major life changes, ending unhealthy relationships, changing careers, addressing long-avoided fears. The brain no longer needs to keep raising the same alarms. It's also worth noting that not all night thinking is harmful. Some of humanity's most meaningful insights have happened during quiet hours. Creativity, clarity, and emotional understanding often emerge when distractions disappear. The key difference is whether the nervous system feels safe. Fear makes thoughts spiral. Safety allows thoughts to pass. Your brain is not attacking you at night. It is speaking in the only language it has left when the world goes quiet. If you learn to listen without panic, night thoughts soften. They lose their emotional grip, and gradually sleep returns. If you found this explanation helpful, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future deep dives into the human mind here on Explainified. Thanks for watching.